Well, good morning and welcome to CityLine. It is really wonderful to be in your home. This morning is the 14th of March and we are live every Thursday. We are only a couple days away from spring and I, for one, cannot wait. So, this next hour, we are going to be talking about all things musical, community, and dance. Some of my favorite things besides food. Later on, we'll be talking with Symphony Tacoma. Karina is here, along with Sven and Thane, and they are going to talk about their upcoming concert and also give us a sample. You definitely don't want to miss that. The Refugee Choir is here. Erin is here to talk about this beautiful choir that will just capture your heart. Why they get together and share their hearts and their songs, and also an upcoming event that you definitely want to attend. And then the YMCA of Pierce and Kitsap counties is here to talk about their programs. And parents, summer is just right around the corner, so you definitely want to take notes on this one so we can keep those youth engaged through that summer brain drain, as they call it. And then with me right now is one of Tacoma's icons, Tacoma City Ballet. If you are not aware of Tacoma City Ballet, then you are in for a treat. So please join me in welcoming Miss Erin Ceragioli. Gosh, I love your name. Any chance I get to say Ceragioli, I say it, because it's beautiful.
You say it well.
I think I was Italian in a former life. I really do. I mean, I'm Scottish, but I really think I was Italian. For people who do not know, or who for me, who I cannot shout it loud enough, you are the artistic director of Tacoma City Ballet. Welcome back, my dear.
Thank you.
So good to have you. And you got some fun things on your lap that we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes. With you, this beautiful ingenue, Sophia Bardwil. You are a company dancer, but you are also here today as Pinocchio. Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And this beauty, rounding out the couch here, Aleecia Ramsey-Gonzalez, you are, get ready, drum roll, executive assistant for Tacoma City Ballet. Welcome, my dear. I said to Miss Erin, and you heard me in the green room, I said, it is about time. And I looked down at your feet and I said, you must have roller skates on to keep up with this woman. So it's so great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Erin, let's get into the, let's get on point, as we say. Tacoma City Ballet, you have been providing excellent classical ballet instruction, performance, and creating accessibility to the performing arts for years. What inspired the performance of Pinocchio?
Well, we look for something that the audience can relate to, because as you know, ballet is not the most well-attended of the arts. And so we like to do story ballets so that families can come, and the ballets are appropriate for everyone of any age.
There we go. They can say, oh, I've read the book, or maybe for this day and age, I've seen the DVD or something like that. But in my house growing up, or when I was raising my daughter, we had a rule, and it was always book, play, or live performance, then movie. So I love the fact that you fit into that trinity, because there is nothing like a live performance. And there's so much culturally that is learned, from audience behavior to just understanding the gift of what you're being given. Speaking of gifts, Miss Aleecia, let's talk about your background.
Sure.
How did you, are you a dancer first off, and then how did you come to be this phenomenal woman's executive assistant?
Sure. So I actually have been acquainted with Miss Erin for near 10 years.
Wow.
And it started when I was actually a little bit before that, when I was a volunteer for the Broadway Center for the Performing Arts, now Tacoma Arts Live.
Right.
So I would come down, my background is actually in music, I'm a violinist, and I would come down from youth symphony rehearsals and start stuffing programs for the Nutcracker. So that's kind of how I started to acquaint myself with Miss Erin, and then I moved into a an actual position within the now Tacoma Arts Live, and I moved into their box office. So I worked with Miss Erin for quite an extensive amount of time, kind of behind the scenes. And so we reunited this past year when I took a position with the Federal Way Performing Arts and Events Center.
Okay.
And so we were able to work together and really connect and talk about the arts and culture, and it was just so inspiring. And so I feel like I kind of willed a role within the ballet. So I'm very happy that she's taken me on.
What an incredible story. I didn't hear this story until just now. And if this story is not the quintessential Tacoma City Ballet story of all of the people that volunteer and then somehow either make it on stage or they become a valued family member somehow. And they have these beautiful backgrounds. Tacoma City Ballet is that quintessential, we have families that volunteer, not just individuals. I love your story. Wow. So Pinocchio, I'm assuming, Miss Erin, is an original production, like almost all your productions are.
Correct.
Okay. Is this the first time we're seeing this?
It's the first time that we're going to see it on the big stage with a full orchestra.
Okay, so the live orchestra, that is the clincher for me because I love your live orchestra. So tell us, where will it be performed?
It will be performed in the Federal Way Performing Arts and Events Center.
Great, nice center. But you still rehearse right here in Tacoma. I hear the pitter-pat and of those feet when I'm in the Grand Cinema all the time. I look at those beautiful Palladian windows.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I can say that Tacoma City Ballet will be returning to the Pantages Theater for the Nutcracker next December.
You heard it here first. Oh, that makes me
Breaking
so
news.
happy. Breaking news. That makes me so very happy. So let's talk about you, Miss Sophia. I got a little snippet of your prior performance. I'm not going to spill the beans. So let's talk about, how long have you been with Tacoma City Ballet?
I've been with Tacoma City Ballet for about 8 years now.
Wow. Okay, so you're young enough where I can ask you how old you are and not offend you. How old are you?
I'm 15.
So not new math, about, gosh, 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. My goodness. Okay. And is this your first production that we're going to see you in?
No.
No. What other productions have you
I've
been
also
in?
been in Dracula as Mina, and then, of course, the Nutcracker and Cinderella.
Oh my gosh. I love that. And we're going to get a chance to see you again, I hear a rumor of, in Dracula. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you get to reprise your role, don't you? So describe your character. What do we need to know about Pinocchio?
Well, as Pinocchio, he gets into a lot of trouble.
Always.
And is very mischievous. And he learns a good lesson about listening to your father and not always lying about everything. So...
Some things hold true even to this day, okay? There we go. I love that. So what's it like dancing this role? What's been, because you have such a lengthy background in dance, what's the most challenging thing for you?
I think the acting a lot. It's very hard to play a different character that's more just a young little boy, I guess. But I enjoy it a lot. It's very fun.
Okay, so what do you have in your hand here?
I have Pinocchio's hat.
Oh, I love this. So speaking of that, let's talk about, Miss Erin, the scenery, costumes, and props, and then that sweet thing you have in your lap that you're going to hand to me here. So first off, what is this?
This is the Blue Fairy's wand, because every fairy needs a wand.
Yes.
So she comes, and this is what she can change Pinocchio into a real live boy, right? Because fairies have that kind of power. This was made by our technical director, Salvatore Lucenti. We make all of our own scenery, props, and costumes
That is amazing.
on the premises of Tacoma City Ballet.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know if you can really tell with all the lights.
I think
in
we can
here,
see it.
But the fairy wand lights up.
Okay, Miss Erin, hold it right in front of your face just for a second there. There we go. Oh, yes.
Not that we want more light on my face.
No, we do,
darling.
because you have a beautiful face. Oh my gosh, Miss Erin. Okay, so I want to inject something here, because I really think it's important to point out that because you make your own scenery, your own props, all this, you're able to keep it, Tacoma City Ballet, the cost of the ticket accessible, as opposed to having to order these things. I mean, not that you don't pay your people well, because you do, because beautiful art is not for free. But you have a beautiful cache and a beautiful inventory to choose from. And that means that everybody is able to sit and watch this beauty. The cost of a production is not always in the forefront. For you, it is how many people can we get in there to expose them to this beautiful art. What else do you have on your lap?
Oh, on my
here it
lap.
is.
Okay. We have Karina Bakery made a cookie, a shortbread cookie with an edible image of Pinocchio, which is our branding for the ballet. And Molly is so generous. For every cookie that is purchased at Karina Bakery, she will donate $1 to the Miss Jan Collum Memorial Scholarship Fund,
Yes.
which has given over $1 million to the underserved children of our community to come and take ballet class at Tacoma City Ballet.
Incredible. Thank you.
So buy cookies, everybody.
That's right. Okay, last minute, Aleecia, I want to talk with you. First off, let's talk about the full-length productions. How many in the theater has Tacoma City Ballet performed this season?
Sure, I like to say 3.5 because this season, the 2018-2019 season, we performed 3 full-length ballets. That was The Nutcracker and the Tale of the Hard Nut, Dracula, a little out of order, and Pinocchio this coming or next weekend.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work, but we also brought the Nutcracker Suite back home to the Pantages Theater. We wanted to really let the folks of Tacoma know that we're still very much in support of them and they've been wanting it, and to share that tradition with them was a very powerful thing that we did this year. So I like to say 3.5, but Miss Erin will say 3.
and that's what's coming up next is the Nutcracker. Is that correct?
Our next production will actually be Dracula. So we'll kick off our season with Dracula. We have a lot of really fun smaller events for little kids. We'll bring back our storybook ballet. We'll bring back our haunted theater. And of course, we'll always have the Nutcracker and the Tale of the Hard Nut, which is a tradition
signature.
for so many.
It is.
And then we'll kind of close the season with a fun spring storybook ballet. So
thank you to all 3 of you for being here today, for taking time out of your busy schedule. I want to, as always, you have a permanent place on the comfy couch. And I'm going to say to all 3 of you, break legs, but don't. All right. Okay.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome. When we come back after a brief message, we'll have the YMCA here to talk about their program, so you don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.